Human trafficking, we know it's a problem. It is a multi-billion-dollar illegal industry that preys on the young, the underaged, the compromised. It takes advantage of people. We have a problem in this state. We have a problem in every state with it. But there is a movement right now at the State House to tighten up enforcement, to make it more serious about these villains. I mean, there's not a better word for them that are out there taking advantage of young girls, young boys, people in less than desirable conditions.
Absolutely. You know, in South Carolina alone, human trafficking, sex trafficking is at a minimum a $250 to $500 million a year business, impacting thousands of lives every single day. And we saw those numbers, those maps at that hearing last week. This is an issue that we must address. It's a moral imperative because we know that we have to quench that demand, to cut off the demand to save these victims, many of whom were manipulated or coerced into this horrible trade as teens, even preteens, had no chance in life. And so it's about getting them out. One of the ways we do that is by cutting off that demand, by making it a felony to be that pimp or that buyer, because what we're talking about is a trade in human life. And it's rife with violence, with abuse. It is not what you think of on TV of someone standing on a corner willingly offering themselves for some money. It's the opposite of that. It is slavery, and we have an imperative to do everything that we can in our state to stop that.
We've heard the Attorney General in the state call it many times modern day slavery.
It is, and the thing about it is a criminal industry. You have to think about it from this standpoint. It's got products, it's got buyers, it's got sellers, it's got an infrastructure system, its own money system, it's got recruitment, it's got retention, and unfortunately it also has disposal, and that disposal is of human beings. And that is why Senate Bill 235, Senator Josh Kimbrell out of Spartanburg has put that forward to make purchasing commercial sex or purchasing a prostitute a crime in South Carolina of a felony. That's a $1,000 fine, because right now it's a misdemeanor. It's a $200 fine. It costs
You're
more.
in and out, it's a citation.
Right, and that is it. And so this makes it a very much higher crime. And it's something that then law enforcement has more of an incentive to go after, because here's the thing about it, Brian. That happened in Texas, they raised it to a felony. North Carolina raised it to a felony. And what we're seeing and expecting is that human trafficking, just like it went from Texas into Oklahoma, we expect them to start drifting down into South Carolina right now, because it's a whole lot cheaper and it's not a felony if you get caught in South Carolina yet. So the Senate subcommittee had a hearing on that earlier this week, unanimously passed it through, and heard from victims of human trafficking, and their stories were horrific.
They are horrific. We have told those stories many a time here at Watch Fox News, and they are very difficult to hear. The people that tell them, the courage they have to step forward. This is going to be that one topic that we talk about on this particular show that no one's going to debate about. It's something that everyone knows needs to happen. It has to happen. You have to clean this up.
And I think there are places too where there are other things that you've talked about before, where there are other opportunities to help people get out of the situation, and for those who have been in it to find some level of redemption.
Exactly. So there are ministries out there, resources. We also have next steps we can look at in the law to actually fund some of these resources. But for right now, we have to just take a look at what the emergency is, and that emergency is the people who are coming down south out of North Carolina. We have to end that first, and then start dealing with how we rescue people and get them rehabilitated and back into society.
This bill has seen some iteration over the last 10 years. It is now getting traction in the Senate. That expect it to get through. The real question is, will the House turn around and take it up and recognize the issue that's going on and actually do something about it, Brian?
It's time.
It's time.
It's time. The clock is ticking on this one. And as you said, the industry moves more and more into our state. That's going to do it this week for getting you connected to the Capitol. We'll do it again next Sunday in South Carolina.